Hey, good morning. How are you? What's up? What's been going on? Frankie, come say hi. Come say hi. Jump, jump. You're still hard-headed. Frankie, say hello. Hi, baby. Hi. Come on. Jump. It's a half crawl, not a jump, but it's okay because I love my baby. I'm gonna hug you and kiss you and squeeze you. What do you think of that? Come on, let's jump. Let's go. Okay. So if we get interrupted, I'll do a part 2. I don't know how much time I have, so there's that. Frankie, the dog of the hour. You ever watch, is that Bob and Tom, the chiropractic? Bob and Tom, the most famous chiropractors in the world, says Bob and Tom, or something like that. You should look them up. If you ever have any aches and pains, you can go to their channel and look things up. I haven't checked on them for a long time, because I just have been cutting way back on being on my phone, on the internet, because just been busy with other things, especially researching cancer. Excuse me. So sorry. So my research has did you fall off? No, you're okay. Yeah. All right. You know how you open up, it's almost like Pandora's box. The subject is fascinating. I've had several clients in the past who have had cancer, and they were going through some existential. My new facial claws are the cheap ones from Temu, and I've washed them only once. Last time I got some, I washed them several times before I used them. So, they're leaving lint on my face. They're fine once you get all the lint out. They work just as good once you get all the lint out. Okay. Hold on. We're being invaded. Okay. So there's what causes cancer, which is fascinating. You know, there are some things that I found out that are mind-blowing. For instance, if you get bored and you just want some history and you want something that's going to kind of wake you up, that might explain the whole COVID money grab situation. Hey, if you took the jab, that's fine. I'm not making fun of anybody or putting anybody down, because some people believe it really helped them. I know I worked temporarily with someone who was bragging about the COVID passport that she got, to where like she gets a shot in every state, or every time a new one came out, as soon as she was ready, they would allow her to take another one. She was up to 6. That's a lot. Anyway, I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just saying there have been some major health concerns resulting from it if you don't watch mainstream media and actually watch people like Dr. Merrick, Dr. Mercola, Dr. John Campbell. Because Dr. John Campbell, what he does is he goes through all of the research material from verified references, the top references only, and explains research in very easy to understand layman's terms. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is Rockefeller, what is it, back in the 30s, 20s, 30s, is the one who started the whole deal with pharmaceutical companies and doctors, and was able to get it passed through government that they had to start approving medicines by the government, and the government being able to insist on certain medications or not other medications that haven't been patented. The way he was able to manipulate the pharmacy companies was brilliant. And I don't mean manipulation in a bad way. I mean to actually mold like clay, to manipulate it in a way that came out such a money-making deal. But it also put shackles on doctors. That's the problem. There have been, you know how some people say, God heals if you pray hard enough, if you have enough people praying for you, if you pray to the right angel. Well, there are some people that really works with. Is it placebo effect? Is it really the higher power moving your body on a cellular level to heal? Right? Is it God, Jesus, an angel getting inside of you and shifting and changing things so that you heal because you prayed correctly, or somehow you deserved divine intervention? That's awesome. Then there are people who believe that certain considered medicinal teas like chamomile will calm. Well, there's a combination in an old recipe, and if you look up the story behind Isiac tea and the doctor that was, how she got the recipe of these medicinal herbs to make tea, medicine, and how her business at treating certain illnesses, especially cancer, was shut down. She wasn't able to use that formula anymore. She wasn't able to use tea. She had to only prescribe what the board approved, which meant pharmaceuticals, because they had something to sell. It wasn't. Back then, research hadn't come as far, and so and women doctors, it was a woman doctor, weren't very common. But they actually filmed her in Congress with witnesses. She was able to bring witnesses and speak about it. And then you got to see them turn her down. That no, she could not resume her practice if she continued using that tea. So, just like during COVID, no one was supposed to use ivermectin. They were taking licenses away from doctors who were using it, and shamed them. They took a lot of research off the internet, and I know that because stuff moved quick. And there was some mainstream media on the internet, on the news, briefly about doctors losing their licenses for selling horse dewormer or something like that. Some kind of healthy, semi-healthy shake I put together for this morning. Ugh. Or smoothie, I should say. So anyway, and then you find out, you know, the restrictions, you find out the actual causes of cancer, how that changes in your body, that there's so many different types of cancer. And now there's what they're calling a turbo cancer that's happening that they've only seen since COVID. So it's just interesting how much information is out there, especially on how, for the most part, the treatment for cancer has not changed. They're coming out with some experimental drugs you can continue taking that are supposed to help with remission. But the basic recipe is, once you've had your mammogram and they find a lump, for example, or once you have a certain blood test for, or checkup for whatever cancer you have and however you find it. Like you're tired, so they do a blood test, so they find it. The deal is to try to find a place with an MRI so they know where to do a biopsy. So they're going to cut it open. When they aspirate, things aspirate. So that's always dangerous in your body. And they're trying to say that it's not, when simple physics proves that it is. You can't cut into anything without it breaking apart a little bit. I mean, even the best bakers, cake makers, know this. It takes, and even on a microscopic level where you can't see it, it's there. So when your body's moving and shaking, breathing and vibrating, there's no way to cut into anything, even in the tiniest little point. It only takes one to scatter, to make things a lot worse, because each and every cancer cell wants to live and breed. That's their job. Like honeybees. Job is to work so the queen can replicate. That's how it is with living things, right? And then once they biopsy, well, it looks like we need to go ahead and remove it because it's benign, but it could get worse. And then sometimes there's reconstruction surgery around that, especially if it's a lump on the breast. Money, money, money. If it's malignant, then it's like, oh, we got to do some chemo and radiation first Then they do this surgery. Then they do chemo and radiation again. And then because of all those procedures, the body wears down, the immune system wears down, the stress level is high. So then there's even more inflammation and fertile ground for more cancer to reoccur. So, there are people who do not handle the medications very well. They don't handle the radiation very well. So it tears down their self-esteem. It tears down their support systems. Therefore, loneliness is poisonous. And then there's all the regrets, the mental health stuff around how am I going to die? I don't want to talk about death, denial. Then there's the who's going to get what. Well, y'all can worry about that when I'm gone. I mean, you see, I've seen it all. And yeah, next time I do laundry, I'll just throw them all in and wash and tumble them several times. I just forgot. So, there are people who are so set in their ways on doing things the way the doctors lead them to believe. Not only because they're a rule follower, but because they don't have the money or the ability to get a loan because they're sick, to take care of things financially themselves. And they, a lot of doctors won't see you unless you've had a biopsy. And insurance will not pay anything unless you do things in a Lego manner. You have to do this first, this first, this first. I don't know, I thought of Legos. What should I have said? I don't know. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. System's messed up. You pay for insurance and it tells you how to use it. It's kind of crazy. So there are a lot of people going broke having cancer and not getting healed because whether you have insurance or not, cancer is expensive. Because you know you want certain supplements and insurance doesn't cover that. So this has been an interesting journey for me. The doctor I'm seeing doesn't take my insurance. He's a physician's assistant and I like him and he's close to me, but my insurance doesn't pay much, if anything. They submit it and I hope I get lucky at some point, but there for a while he was working under a doctor, but she retired and he decided to keep on working. Now, I think that is wonderful because that's who I was seeing. But he was having trouble getting me in to get x-rays because our town just doesn't have a lot going on in their x-ray department. Can you believe that? A town this size and a hospital as big as we have. So a couple more hospitals are going to come in and hopefully pick up some slack. Ooh, that's way too much. Okay. That's a lot of makeup, isn't it? I'll soften it up here in a minute. I'll soften it up here in a minute. So I have had the bilateral sonogram. I've had the tri-fold set of chest x-rays. I've had the mammogram. And now they found a place in Nashville where I could get an MRI. And whether they take TRICARE or not, I don't know. That's my insurance. I haven't been wearing hardly any makeup for like the last week. Well, let's see, I worked for, what's today? Tuesday? Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, a week, 3 days. But it didn't feel different on my face. I was just kind of being lazy. I just didn't want to deal with it. I've been cleaning house after that painting. Oh, thank God I got some help. I've been increasing my prayer, meditation, going for walks, trying to settle my nerves a little bit. I am missing a eyeshadow. Well, I'll use this one. Soften up that a little bit. There we go. There we go. Eek! What was that? Oh, there it is. Thank you. Okay, I need some eyebrows. That's all there is to that. So it's to find out some of the history of medicine and how this whole COVID thing really re-emphasized, really put a magnifying glass on what doctors are doing and why, what they're not doing and why. They're basically using the same standard of care for the last, since the 60s, chemo radiation. Chemo radiation. Lots of money. Lots of money. X-rays, biopsies, chemo, radiation, surgery, and then do it all over again. So, guess what? People are starting to talk about their stories. People are starting to share their experiences. And how some people, you don't hear a lot about it on Facebook Facebook. What you see are when people have cancer, you see them wearing the cute scarves and then they're posting positive stuff, because they want positive feedback from people, but they're not saying, not very often. I mean, you may know somebody who does it, but I've seen very little of people on there. They're forcing me to take this test or that test. They're forcing me to do this or that if I want treatment. they're rushing me to make decisions that I'm not ready to make. And this crap is making me sick. A lot of people are suicidal on it because it messes so much with their hormones. Well, nobody else reacts that way. It's like, who programmed you to say that? That's not what a patient needs to hear. They need to hear, oh my God, what can we do? Let's take another look at your medications. Let's pull something back or add something different. But no, it's like, well, nobody else is being a big whiner about it, basically. So I'm just saying that's not how I want to be treated. I don't like how I've been treated. And I told my physician's assistant that if he's going to force me to do that, I'll just find another doctor. But I'd really rather work with him as much as possible. And he said, well, he can't prescribe certain things, especially like certain medications. I mean, he's limited. I'm like, okay, well, what I need more than anything is just some moral support and kind of help track me. It's more for mental health than anything. Because I've got the route that I want to take. It's all on, I'm learning all this stuff on the internet. I know what I want to do. So I can go in a little bit more on the treatment I've decided on. But if you want to look up some treatment, and I know a lot of people out there have cancer, have had cancer, or will have cancer, because it's pretty much our body's being attacked so much by our modern lifestyle that it's almost impossible not to get cancer. So I'm just saying that there are people who have a chance to try something different, whether it's an atheist in prayer, whether it's someone who wholeheartedly follows the Western medicine militant procedures and insurance protocols, or is willing to think outside the box and use anecdotal or off-market drugs or Native American drugs. So I was really interested in Joe Tippin. Joe Tippin has information on the internet that's starting to get overwhelmed with scamming. But I saw his story during COVID. But for some reason, his story's getting a lot of attention right now, and people are really scamming his websites. So be very careful. Don't buy anything. Don't buy anything. Don't buy anything. On his blog, he is now offering links to a certain researched supplement company, only because they have been so refined that they help the body when it's weak, especially with inflammation fighting cancer. It's a balance of supplements that is the easiest to your body to access. I'm not buying it because I don't feel like my body's that weak. But I am doing his old-fashioned protocol. He's got two. The one he did when he recovered from cancer, when he was told to go home and, get his stuff together to pass away. And then he revised it a little bit since he's been in remission. No evidence of disease. And also the genuine ESEAC tea. I'm doing those. And the blue dye I forgot how you say that name. But I'm doing several things that hitting it from all these different sides is going to keep me from feeling like I'm hopeless, helpless when I'm such a rebel. I don't. I want to fight for myself. When I really believe in something or don't believe in something, my insides just scream. And I know my mental health and my body will not do well with chemo and radiation, from what I'm hearing. I think there are certain body types, certain personality types that don't do well with certain things. You know, there's some people who are very sensitive to pain, very sensitive to stress and anxiety, and I'm one of those people. I have to take very good care of myself to be as healthy as I am. So I found a channel called The Cancer Crew, and a woman who and her husband, he was the caretaker. She experienced a lot of the worst side effects. And she's very open and shares honestly about what she went through and how she found recovery. It's amazing. Her story's amazing. Carly Williams. You can find The Cancer Crew on YouTube. So give it a check out. And if you know anybody who has cancer and they've been given a death sentence or they're just beat down, introduce them to the Cancer Crew website. Right now they have a membership where you can, and I paid for it. I got in on the ground floor at $100. So either for a year or a lifetime, I don't know right now, because they just started their group and it is wonderful. It's just wonderful. The support of like-minded people and people who have done Western medicine and then changed to this, or are just trying this, or are doing both at the same time for the results they want. So, all right, we're going to work. Gotta go. Mwah. Love you. Mwah. Bye for now.